Hi everyone, Rach here from Rara's. No, we're not. We're from Bookpiles today. Yes, it's videoing day. I feel you're a little bit higher up than usual. Oh well, I'm not fiddling. It's straight, I think. It looks straight to me. Okay, this is my July wrap-up, or what I read after the end of the historical romance readathon. I will just point out that there are currently 2 cats in this room with me. One who is often in here with the videos and is used to it all and just stays asleep, but another one who might interfere. We'll just have to see how we go. Anyway, this is the rest of the July wrap-up. So there are 4 more books to talk about. I think I read... I might have only got to 6 altogether in July. 2 were in the readathon and then the other 4, or I got to 7, I can't remember. I feel like I did more, but maybe I just relaxed when the readathon finished. I don't know. Anyway, so the first book that I read was on my Kindle, and it's Sophie Jordan's The Scandal of It All. And I can't think of the name of the series, so I'll put it on the screen. The way my Kindle loads it, I can't see, without opening the book, I can't actually see the bottom of the book, and it doesn't tell me the series. I want to say it's the Rogue Files, but I will have put it on the screen. So The Scandal of It All is book 2 in the series, and it is the stepmother of the Duke from the first book, which was While the Duke Was Sleeping. Yes. So she, the Duke's father has long since died, so which is why he is now the Duke, and his mother-in-law is a lot younger than his father ever was, and the book starts with her at a funeral for a friend who died, same age as her, who died young, and she's sort of reflecting on the fact that if she doesn't get some excitement in her life, some love, whatever, it's all going to pass her by. Her life could be snubbed out. So she decides to visit this club that features in a lot of the Sophie Jordan books that I've read so far. And by a lot, I think I've only read 5 now. Well, 5 recently. I did read Sophie Jordan books a few years back, or even 20 years ago, because she's one of the authors I remembered, but I couldn't tell you what I read back then. Anyway, this club features a lot, and it's where you go for some naughty fun. So she decides she's going to go, and she's all full of bravado, and she's quite happy to be there until she spies her stepson, the Duke, and his best friend. Now, for the life of me, I can't Lord Strickland. I think it's Lord Strickland. That's the problem with having an ebook versus a physical book, I find. But anyway, I am kind of solving that problem. I'll get to it with the next book. We'll sidetrack. We won't sidetrack. So she spies her stepson and Lord Strickland in this club and has a bit of a panic attack. She gets into a little bit of strife. She gets into a little bit of strife with somebody, or a couple of blokes, and I think Lord Strickland saves her. Hopefully I haven't got my books mixed up on that one. And then obviously she is aware that the Duke is there, and he keeps hovering around because it's his mate. And there's a bit of lewd talk and all of that sort of thing. And in the end she decides that she has to reveal herself to Lord Strickland so that he can help her get out of this club and away from the stepson. Now, obviously, given that it is a historical romance, Lord Strickland has had has fancied her for donkey's years. So he's going to play this up for as long as he can, and it involves that he gets her to kiss him and all sorts of things. And from there, he gets her out, and then it goes into this sort of romance between the pair. And she's like, but you're younger than me, and he's like, it's only 5 years, and you know, what's the son gonna think, and don't worry about what the son's gonna think. It was a nice love story. That's what I remember of it. Basically those things. I'm curious because it's the series, and I'm realising I like series, especially when you've got to know one of the characters in a previous book and then it's their story sort of thing. So I don't, beyond that, I don't remember much more about it. It's a love story. Anyway, moving on from that. So that was the only ebook after then. I then went on and read The Other Miss Bridgerton by Julia Quinn, and this is where, somewhere in this gap between these two books, I really thought about, and maybe it was after the historical romance readathon wrap up, I was really thinking about how I talk about these books, because I'm remembering everything. So I have taken to filling out a little sheet, a little index card in each book. I didn't obviously do it for the last one because you could tell that was a bit rubbish. This one's not going to be any better, but hopefully I will remember some more things about the book. So anyway, The Other Miss Bridgerton. So this is book 3 in the Rokesbury's. I think that's what the series is actually called, although here it's being sold as a prequel to the Bridgertons. It doesn't actually have the series name at the top of this list. So this is Andrew's story, Andrew and Poppy. So Poppy is the cousin. Okay, let's get this right. We almost need a family tree here. Poppy's cousin Billy is married to Andrew's older brother George. Okay, so that's how she fits into the story, Poppy Bridgerton. So she is holidaying, staying with a friend on the south coast of England, and she goes off for walks, and she goes with a chaperone, a maid, but she often ditches her at her tea rooms and says, look, I've just got to walk on the shoreline, I'll be an hour, you just don't have to follow along. So in one of these escapades she stumbles upon a cave, and my camera battery is flashing at me. Let's try and get this one finished, and I'll have to come back and do the other two afterwards. She stumbles upon this cave. While she is nosing around, two men come into the cave, and eventually she is spotted and she is kidnapped and taken aboard a ship captained by Andrew. Andrew is leading a little bit of a double life. So he basically can't release her because of this double life that he's leading. She's got to stay for this voyage, otherwise it's going to compromise his mission. So she is basically held prisoner in his cabin, and it's, I don't know, I just really like these Rokesbury boys. He is the same witty and charming as his brothers, even though she's effectively kidnapped. In the end you wouldn't really know it by the way that he treats her. obviously, again, it's a love story, but it's a slow burn. It takes a long time for that, from the captor to sort of, they then go to sort of friends, and then they become lovers. So it muddles along for a bit of the book where she is held in his cabin and they get to know each other, and then they get to the destination, and he has told her she's not getting out of this room, but in the sort of the couple of days before, he's given her a bit more freedom. He's taken her up onto the deck at night, and he decides to show her the destination. He fulfills his mission, and he comes back and he gets her, and they go out, and he shows her around the town, and they get kidnapped, both of them again. Well, her again and him for the first time. And this is obviously a little bit more dangerous because he's not in control, but he manages to persuade the captors to let her out, and I can't remember what he said, but anyway, it's irrelevant. He manages to get her released, and she then has to take a coded message to the embassy, which gets her to safety, and ultimately him to safety, but she doesn't know that. So she arrives at the embassy. They basically bundle her into a room and keep her safe, and then get her on the next boat out, and she goes home, and she basically doesn't know what's happened to him, and I think it's a few months between them separating and coming back together again, and it's just a really nice love story. I really enjoyed it. I read reviews. I tend to read reviews of the books after I've read them, not before, because I don't want any spoilers. And a lot of people had problems with the whole kidnap thing. You got to read these books with a grain of salt, honestly. That's all I'll say. I was looking for the interaction between the two of them, and it was just lovely. He knew who she was very quickly. He found out her surname within, I'd say, the first 24 hours. So he knew who she was, but he didn't tell her who he was. I think he wasn't 100% sure if she knew who he would be, if she said the surname, if he said his surname anyway. Yeah, so he sort of fiddled along with that as well. But I just think I loved it. I really enjoyed this book. So I'm going to stop now, and when I come back I might be dressed differently, because I might not film this second half until tomorrow now, and go and charge the camera battery. Maybe I need another camera battery. Okay, I'll catch you guys in a split second. Bye for now. Okay, hopefully for you that was a split second. For me it's been about 4 hours. We have a freshly charged battery. We also have a marauding cat. Hopefully he'll just do his own thing and not get in the way. So I've got 2 more books to talk about, and then I'll go and edit this video together and get it up for you in the next day or so. Okay, so the 4th book I read that was outside of the readathon was When He Was Wicked, Julia Quinn. This is the something book in the Bridgerton series. I'm not sure exactly, what does it actually say? Book 6. See? It helps to take notes. Book 6 in the Bridgerton series. So this is Francesca's story. Okay, let me get my head around this. So the story starts out with her married to John, and his cousin, what is his cousin's name? Michael. Crikey. His cousin Michael spends a lot of time with the family because he harbours a secret crush for Francesca, plus he's very close to John. They're like brothers. very quickly, possibly even, that was the end of a chapter, chapter 2. No, it must be the end of maybe chapter 2. Oh, I don't know why I'm looking it up just to confirm it. Within the first couple of chapters, John dies. And so the story, the love story is Francesca and Michael. Let me back the pony up just a little bit. If you've watched several of my videos, yay for you. If this is the first one, hello. I have struggled with the Bridgerton series, I'll be perfectly honest. I have read, I have read 6 of the 8 now. Plus I've got, that first bigger book, this one here, is the Happily Ever After second epilogue book. Of the 5 previous books, I have probably only really liked 2 of them. So the series is very on the fence for me. So I was going into this without high expectations. Yeah, just lie down. Good boy. The camera is perched on the cat tower, of which the cats like to play on the cat tower. So I'm hoping he doesn't think, oh, I'll come and sit here in front of mummy. No, he's laid down. Good. Yes, so I didn't have high expectations for this book, but actually I was surprised. I really liked this book. Not as much as An Offer from a Gentleman or anything like that, but it's redeemed the series. We're back on a sort of a 50% success rate now. This is a really touching story. Michael has loved Francesca since he laid eyes on her, and for her, he is her best friend. So the struggle between the two of them accepting, well, he's already in love with her, so it's her accepting that she's falling in love with him and not feeling guilty because it's John's cousin and all of that sort of thing. It was really touching and really nicely done. And there are certainly some scenes in the book that were quite hot and steamy, more than I remember from some of the other books. But it just ended up being a really nice love story. So I'm really pleased that I'm persevering. I've got 2 more to go and that second epilogue book to read. You're stuck in here now, you just have to wait. Yes, is there anything else that I wish to mention from my notes? I think I've kind of gone over everything. Yeah. Also, I think he comes across, Michael is quite witty and charming, I put on here too. I like the humour in the men, if Julie can get that right. I like that. So anyway, and then the last book I read, in fact so much so I haven't even taken the bookmark out yet, is First Comes Scandal, which is the 4th and final book in the Rokesbury's. So yeah, again, what is this going to be billed, does it say? In this book it's called the Bridgerton Prequels, but I believe it's also known, or was also known, as the Rokesbury's. I need to look that up really because I keep saying that. So this is Nicholas Rokesbury and Georgiana Bridgerton. So Georgiana is Billy Bridgerton's younger sister, and Billy is married to Nicholas's older brother, George. Again, we should have a family tree. Yeah. Right, so the story with this. So Nicholas is off in Edinburgh training to be a doctor, and he is sent to come home immediately, but he's not told why, just get home. And he's up in Edinburgh and home is down in Kent, so that's basically the opposite ends of the United Kingdom. So he hightails it home wondering what on earth is going on, and when he gets home his father takes him into the study and says, you need to marry Georgiana. And he's like, this is what you've sent me home for. So he explains the situation. Georgiana has been compromised and therefore ruined by a bit of a twat of a bloke, and she needs rescuing basically, and Nicholas's father is her godfather, and he comes upon this idea that his son will marry her and save her and everything will be hunky-dory. So basically there's a little bit of headbutting around the whole idea from him and from her, but eventually they see sense and they decide they're going to get married. And it's just their experience and those first few weeks of being married, the journey from the south of England up to Scotland. There is an encounter with this bit of a twat bloke again, which is quite funny. I think, did I remember rightly, he has the same charm as, does it say that? I've got, it's another humorous book. So, yeah, so he has the same witty, charming appeal that his brothers have got. And it's interesting because he's really not mentioned much in any other books, other than we know that there is a brother called Nicholas and there is a sister called Mary, I think, who I don't believe she has a book at all. I could be wrong if there are really good Julia Quinn fans who know their stuff. I don't believe Mary Roxbury ever had a book. It's just the brothers. So, yeah, I have liked the series, so I enjoyed this book. It's probably my fourth favourite of the series, though, I would say that, but there's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's just there coming to terms with this situation that fate has dealt her, and him kind of saving the day sort of thing, and then how they get to know each other and like each other, and the wit and the charm that goes with that. And it was just another really nice read. So that is that. I have finished. I've got there in the end without feline interruption. Okay, so that is the end of my wrap-up. I'm pretty sure it was only 6 books. It might have been 7, I don't know, because I can't remember how many of the readathon books I read in July. I think I only read 2 because I was steaming ahead and I had pretty much covered the board by the time the 1st of July rolled round. So I think there's only 2, which means I read 6 books altogether. Anyway, I'm waffling, as I do sometimes. Right, I shall love you and leave you and catch you in another video. Whoa, there's a cat coming on the cat tree. I'll catch you in another video soon before you shall I show you? Just, if you're queasy, just go carefully. Windows, 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 messy room, messy room, messy room. Oh, cat. Possibly 2 cats, I can't quite tell from here. Anyway, can we see both cats? I don't know. I will probably cut some of that out. Okay, I will catch you again in another video soon. Thanks everyone. Bye for now.